All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all having a real good time and everything's going well for y'all. Uh, Floor sitting just under 80 degrees here in July. Doing pretty good. I mean, for the temperature, for the weather, or whatever, it's doing pretty good. Don't have the fan on this morning, but outside is pretty cool, is what I'm trying to get at. So we're doing good here. Update on the whole thing, the carbon capture, biorefinery, uh, the carbon vault, whole concept. The is it doable? Yes, 100%. Is it fantasy or is it like garage built hokey shit? No, nothing like that. These would all be like aerospace manufactured kind of stuff. You make this stuff out of stainless steel? Yeah, you can, but you're going to piss away about $3 million, about $1 million for the rotary kiln, and then the rest of the crap that goes with it. But the site is what I'm saying. About a $3 million investment, you're going to piss that away because it'll eventually fail. 304 stainless is wonderful, but if you're making it to make carbon, you can't get it hot enough without being a detriment, is what it comes down to. Are there materials that are made to do 900C or, like almost 1700 degrees continuously? Yeah, there are. Those cost a lot of money. They're not for free and they're not cheap. Numbers don't lie. Yeah, they're not for free or cheap. And there is difficulty in some of these manufacturers. Not the one making the rotary kiln. He's totally cool and on board. But some of the other ones that I have talked to, it's like you're trying to go against their legacy because they're the ones who decided that, you know, um, for every one of these rotary kilns that are made that consume agricultural waste, about 100 ton a day. Yes, they are making carbon. They're doing that. They're making activated carbon, or they're just making carbon. Biochar. Either way, they're doing that. But what they're putting into the atmosphere is an abomination. It's horrifying because they don't realize, they just understand percentages and numbers and they don't really understand the ratio what they're doing. The plant fiber has about 50% carbon. The rest is like hydrogen, oxygen, different molecules is what I'm trying to get at. But carbon makes up about 50% of that. If you do it correctly at the high enough temperature, you're getting at best about 15% to maybe a maximum of 25 if you are just styling with the idea. Maximum, like don't look at that as your benchmark, is what I'm trying to get at. And then you're going to produce about 35% of that. The 15 is what you're going to get. You're going to put about 35% of that carbon into the air as CO2 doing it. That's not, you're getting 15% out, I guess, is a win. That's horrible. But that 35%, it sounds little because it's only a percentage, 35%. But when you're putting in 100 ton of material daily into that machine, that's two railroad cars full of liquefied CO2 under pressure. That's not atmospheric. That's not 400 parts per million. Okay, that's liquid. That's 100 fucking percent CO2. Nothing but CO2. Two rail cars full every day into the atmosphere from the same device. So keep that in mind when you say, "Oh, my $3 million idea makes so much money making carbon at 15%." No, you really don't. No, you're really not. You're really kneecapping everybody and their brother. Dude, you're worse. You're worse than jet aircraft. Okay, let's just be honest at that point. And that is a problem because that's the same thing with carbon sequestration. You can plant trees and you can take carbon credits for that, but you're only getting like minimal amounts because you're not doing anything. Yet the trees, yes, you're planting them, and that does do something, but compared to hemp, no, you're pissing in the wind. The same amount of land, the same exact square of hemp and trees, hemp can sequester more CO2 in one season, in one growing season, than the same area of trees can sequester over a 20-year period. It's not even close, y'all. So when you're burning like sugar cane, the bagasse, and the hemp herd and stuff like that from your crop, that's not helping anybody. And no, that's not even helping you, because it's not the correct way to do it. If you invest in the machinery, like a town would invest, and to do it correctly and to sequester, to compress the CO2 from the burn into the two rail cars daily, okay, that's about a $7 million investment, not three. Big difference there. But that $7 million doesn't have what the three doesn't. Oh, hell yeah. Not even maybe. Oh, hell yeah. That's a perpetually running 100 kilowatt steam generator, or MHD, however you want to go about your conversion. Most people would probably go with the steam because they understand it. Steam turbine. And that's two closed loop systems where the steam is actually reusing its own steam every time because it's mineral free water, distilled water. And so that's a closed loop all to itself with a condenser and a steam generator. And then you'd have a secondary loop like to a cooling lake or something like that would cool the condenser, reroute your hot water from the condenser to like drying for, cascade, you reuse the water, so you close the system loop as much as you can, tilapia fish, something like that. Or both, or all the three of the above, is there's a lot you can do with $7 million investment that you cannot do with three. Like you could heat a whole fucking town kind of thing. Because this would have, 7 million would have 4 megawatt of lithium battery storage. That's enough to supply a whole town, a small town. Like my town here, half that would supply my town. Yeah, crazy amount of difference between 7 million and 3. And you get to either sell or sequester the 2 liquid tankers full of CO2 daily. Whether it's food grade, so you could sell it or you could put it down whole and sequester it. But the deal is how do you sequester it for long? How do you make it permanent? And there's only one real way to do that, and that's turn it to stone. And I was going to say, because that's the matrix that it has to go to. And speaking of the word matrix, we are now carbonmatrix.org. We are official. It happened. We are a non-profit in the state of Colorado. Say yay for us, because I did. Oh, it took me a day to get the stupid grin off my face. I've tried for this for so many years. And y'all, that was 100% AI. That was Gemini got me through that. And I failed with fucking real lawyers the first time. So consider that. Same idea with real lawyers failed. The AI, we made it. We're a registered 501c3 in the state of Colorado. So, yippee, that's a good thing. And yeah, I got faith in AI. For AI's ability to model computer simulations, it's spectacular. It's kind of like what they can do with Photoshop or that photo, whatever. The graphics thing that they can just dream shit up. They can do that with a lot of others, with modeling too. They don't dream it up. They just use the numbers correctly. Like they spot cancer before a human could, kind of deal. They're better at what it is. Can they see like how many stoplights or whatever? No, they're not like that. But you get the picture. And you got to be pretty very specific on how you word your questions to get the right answer, or you do get drift, or whatever you call it, chatter or whatever, chaff. You get, you're not getting what you really wanted. But to get back on topic about the deal, is the injection site would take a pretty substantial investment. Not only land or whatever, but just the equipment because these are deep holes that they got to be bored. Like oil well drilling kind of hole, deep holes. And so the equipment is not cheap. Nothing about that's cheap. The program or project that we have like focusing on is in South America, Uruguay, it would be about $45 million to do the injection site, but that in itself would help make the injection site here. That's what it's going to take, that real world downhole sensory data to make it happen here like that. Because I said it in another way, I had to redo the video. Are these sites everywhere around the world? No, not everybody can do this, period, no. Can everybody liquefy the farm waste and biomass? Yes, that is possible anywhere. You can liquefy it, then do something with it. But can you like put it down whole everywhere? No, it don't work like that, y'all. But the injection site is about 45 million. The liquefaction site, and it provides power. 4 megawatt like of continuous like banked power, but the heat, the carbon, the biochar, there's a bunch, y'all, that it produces. And it doesn't send 2 rail cars worth of CO2, liquefied CO2, into the atmosphere every day. And that's what happens otherwise. So this is the answer. And I know that Elon Musk did that $100 million thing. He is such a bullshit whiner. No, he's just not for real. This is the answer, period, hands down. It's indirect. He wanted direct, like straight out of the air, some magical fucking thing that he could patent and make a lot of money, make himself a trillionaire. But he's already made it, so it's okay. Whether that's going to work out for him, I don't know. I would hate to be that rich. I don't even want to deal with the thought of $45 million for this pilot program. That's like too much for me. I don't get comfortable around that kind of stuff. My ex-wife, dude, she would have been lapping up this stuff. Not me. I got a friend I talked to too. He was kind of lapping, like, how much are you going to give me? Kind of that's like, now that you hit your windfall, how much is coming my way. That was the impression the aura that he gave off, and it was like, dude, this is a foundation from day one. I said, I've done it. I've tried the capitalism route and getting it, and it's always like, well, I'll give you 1%, I'll give you 5%, and I'll take all the rest, and we'll screw everybody and destroy everything in our path. Come on, jump on board, let's do it. No, dude, I don't need stuff like that. No, this is not to destroy the world. We have a very finite, in just a very small amount of time, to do any amount of change, any amount of difference. Are we going to stop the next coming ice age? No, we're not. Did we have that opportunity a few years ago? Yeah, I dreamt up a concept of refreezing it underneath there, and it would have worked. I mean, I'm not saying like, well, you didn't listen to me, so now you're screwed. But kind of, yeah, you didn't want the answers. You wanted to make money. You wanted to make statements. You wanted to make, big chest-pounding, teary-eyed, watery-eyed, and hand-wrenching, just cry about it. Okay, it's actually not the CO2 in the atmosphere, y'all. It's the CO2 that's in the ocean. It's the plastic that's in the ocean, the oil, the petroleum that's in the ocean, that makes up the top, like, couple 100 feet. Before it was only a foot or two, then 10 foot, then 100 foot. Now we're talking like 500 foot. It's insane how much we've made the ocean like a cesspool. That's the problem. And this is a cycle. I gotta get my teapot. Hang on. All right, we did that without even shutting off the camera. Making me a little tea this morning. But the I have no idea where I was on that, but it's okay too. Is the is this 100% man-made? No, hell no, dude. No, no, it's not. It is. These are cycles. When the Earth was hit, like many, many millions of years ago, that caused the wobble in the precession of the Earth, the tilt and the wobble. That was a long time ago, millions and millions of years ago, billions of years ago. Is in every billion years, there's like 8,000 ice age cycles. Every 125,000 years, we're going to have it. And it just, as the Earth gets right back to about the right spot, we overheat the core that caused the volcanoes to go crappy or to go chaotic or whatever. It covers the Earth in sulfuric dioxide from the volcano explosion, which blocks out the sun, and then we go right back to ice age, and everything is sequestered, and everything is good, and everything calms down because the Earth goes back not like standing upright; it goes back into the tilt. Well, we're running out of that right now. That's what's happening. It's just time for the ice age. Are we overdue? Yeah, a little bit. Does it mean that we're going to go on and on and on and on and on perpetually forever? No, no, it does not mean that. The Atlantic, it's the AMOC. I don't know exactly what the acronym stands for, but the AMOC in the Atlantic Ocean is what exchanges the cold air or the cold water from the Arctic down with the hot water. It's what keeps everything like working the way it's supposed to. And that's slowed down 20% in the last century. The if it slows down much more than 10 more percent, in which it would do when the Thwaites Glacier calves, that's going to get really catastrophic because the fresh water doesn't mix with the seawater. It floats on top and it evaporates really quick, especially when the ocean water is as hot as it is. And that's going to cause massive amounts of atmospheric rivers and atmospheric moisture, inundating rain. It's going to cause the humidity bulb. We're right now just barely balancing on the humidity bulb for crop failure. With the extra moisture, that's going to make famine and pestilence, all that kind of stuff, worldwide, common. Everybody's going to go hungry. These are real problems that the billionaires are not trying to solve. They're buying big boats and more pointy rockets that they can blow up. That's what they're doing. This whole trickle down bullshit has been a lie. We didn't have a national deficit prior to Reagan, or even after Reagan. Even Clinton worked it out, but the trickle down has failed. Like that has been an abysmal failure. Just like the climate. And do the really rich people understand this? Oh hell yeah, they do. And they're just trying to get theirs before they jet off to a place where the ice age is not going to affect them. And are there places like that? Oh hell yeah, all over the world. Ice age doesn't affect the entire planet, y'all. It just screws up life for like North America, most of Europe, parts of Asia, the top, like Russia, the Siberia area. That's what it's going to screw up. But is it going to affect the entire planet? No, it's not. But is it going to break the global trade and all? Yeah, that it's going to do. And it's going to cause regional wars and famines and, like I said, all the other shit. And the superstitious, stupid people are going to come out in full. I don't know how to say that. I don't know the word, but they are going to be bold. The really superstitious, stupid people are going to be extremely bold. Because even like the Dark Ages, they were dark for a reason. The people that understood, the people who were in control, the religious lunatics that were in control, didn't appreciate the people that actually understood what was going on because it caused their delusion to lose like merit or to lose whatever. So they burned them. They burned them alive. Um, and that's a sad thing, but that's exactly what's going to happen. Again, it's yeah. Um, if you got ideas or if you got, like me going against some of these companies that, I went against their gold standard of releasing 35% of the CO2. That's just what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to try to capture that. You're not supposed to try to recover it. Why are you bucking the system? Because the system is inherently fucking broke is why I'm bucking the system and I'm trying to fix it. They don't see it that way. I was the problem in the phone call. You could clearly hear it in their voice. And yeah, is that a problem? Yeah, it is. And is it going to be a much bigger problem? Yes, yes, it is. Um, okay, y'all, we got the update done. Really long video. I'm going to post it. I don't think I screwed nothing up this time. Uh, but yeah, the liquefaction site for the farm waste is going to be about 7 million to do it correctly. But it'll provide heat, power, a bunch of stuff, not and the carbon, and the CO2, a bunch of different things come out of that. But it would take a community to invest in that kind of a deal, to do it debt free, to do it underneath the banker's thumb. Nah, I wouldn't even consider it. That's like this proposal we're fixing to pitch, and I think I know I said it in the last video, but this I don't know if I said it in this one. But we got our foundation, the 501c3, and so we're just making the pitch to the people that can provide the money like grants, um, to help this to get through. The injection site would be upward of 45 million for the injection site. But that's just the derricks and stuff like that. These are deep, like big. These are like ocean derricks on land kind of deal. That big, big derricks that have to do it. One small derrick and one big one, because you're doing it alternating, for depth. But the ideas there, the concepts there. Can we do it? Yeah. Um, we need money. That's what it comes down to. We need money. Like I said, is it going to stop the ice age? No, no. It freezing underneath the glacier would have bought humanity 50 years. Nobody really thought that was a good idea when I came up with it a few years ago. Several years ago. Elbow laughed at it. He was looking to drag carbon out of the air. $100 million. I'll give you $100 million. You come up with the right way to drag it out of the air. Well, indirectly, this is far superior to any idea anybody's ever proposed. Any amount of money that he's given out has been wasted. This is the right way to do it. Do I want his money? No. He's like a ugly racist kind of person. I don't really want to deal with that. Uh, but are there other corporations like Google, Meta, Frontier, different, yeah, there are. They're all over Europe too. Europe probably more stable about carbon credit than America is. But is there money out there? Yes, there is. Is it like feasible? Yeah, none of this is scientific. None of this is speculative. None of this has not been proven, like repeatedly. Um, but are we doing it wrong currently? Yes, we are. A rotary kiln consuming farm waste and dumping 2 rail cars worth of CO2 in the atmosphere daily is a problem. That's not the solution. Somebody is making money. I'm not saying that. They're making a token amount of money, by operating this unit. Uh, for $4 million more, you're not hurting anything, and you're actually benefiting somebody. So for a $7 million investment, and the original $3 million doesn't make electricity. It doesn't provide a town with power. It doesn't provide a town with heat. It doesn't do none of that shit, y'all. Not the $3 million. You got to trust me on that. They burn their shit halfway wet, um, just because they can and they don't understand what they're doing. Because the machine is capable of it, is what I'm trying to get at. You can fine tune that and get that 15% carbon, 25%. Big difference is what I'm trying to get at. Better ways to fix it. This is a super long video. Tired. I'm going to let it all go. talk to y'all later, another update, couple weeks or something like that. Because I know the only reason I'm making this one is because it's been a while. I wanted to update y'all. Oh, in the 45 million for the injection site, that's in another country. In America, you're talking probably upwards of 100 million. I wasn't wrong about that on the last video when I was speculating. That's about the reality of it. And that's just bureaucracy and red tape is the addition, the other 55 million. Nothing more. That's the deal. So we're going to talk to you then. Bye.